Halton News right here on your TV. It's Thursday, May 7th, and I'm Jessica Kading. To date, there have been a total of 506 confirmed cases of COVID-19 within the Halton region, plus there are currently an additional 62 probable cases, bringing our total number to 568. Here's a look at the number of new cases each day in our region. The green represents confirmed cases and the orange, probable cases. The spike on April 11th is due to the expanded testing and identification of COVID-19 among asymptomatic individuals at Mountain View residence, where there was a large outbreak. Of all the cases in our region, 77 required hospitalization, and there are currently 26 in hospital. 23 residents have died since the onset of this virus, and 420 have fully recovered. The COVID numbers in our region have also been broken down by age and sex. Here's a look at the males in blue, females in orange, and the age ranges are listed along the bottom. 16% of all cases have been in healthcare workers, and 13% were residents or patients of an institutional outbreak. Halton Regional Police have been investigating a drug trafficking situation in Oakville that has now led to 3 arrests. Police were able to confiscate approximately 4 grams of purple fentanyl, 80 grams of cocaine, 29 grams of crack cocaine, and 15 grams of meth, in addition to 355 grams of phenydentin and over $7,600. Amid the provincial announcement that some businesses will be allowed to reopen this weekend, the town of Milton is preparing for an economic recovery plan. We spoke with Mayor Gord Krantz over the phone earlier today, and he says that there's still a lot of work to be done.
We elected people, we definitely do feel the pressure, or the heat, as I sometime will refer to it there. And of course, I said a little over 2 months ago to my CEO, when it became evident that we were going to be in for a bit of a struggle with regards to the health issue, I said, believe it or not, at least in my opinion, I think the bigger nut to crack, as I referred to it at that time, is going to be the economic recovery. As long as we're in a capitalist system, it's that old thing, you pay me now or you pay me later. So, you know, one of the messages that I've been saying there, anybody that wants to listen, is we will have to go through as a nation and as even a community, a bit of a belt tightening exercise in the future. And, getting back to small businesses, and if we want to have a reasonably good recovery, we got to have people working. We've got to have businesses to help that recovery. So however that might evolve is still to be seen. But it's my prediction that the odd business will not make it just because of, the economic conditions. One of the things you always have to be reinventing yourself when it comes to doing business. And I think you'll probably find the way that some of us did business last year will be certainly different than the way we do business next year. And if you don't and can't adjust, then you really are going to get left behind. I would rather suspect come in the next week, 2, certainly, I think you'll see a fair bit of movement and hopefully on the right side of it. But again, I can only emphasize and will emphasize we have to proceed with caution.
The provincial emergency order has been extended until May 19th, but that doesn't mean Oakville town staff won't be busy prepping for summer. Over 100 employees will be working on local parks, marinas, and gardens. Oakville cemeteries and community gardens will also reopen this weekend, but physical distancing measures will be in place. This is all, of course, permitted as the province has announced that certain types of businesses will start to reopen on a phased schedule starting tomorrow. If you'd like to visit a garden or nursery tomorrow, they will be allowed to open for in-store purchases. Hardware and safety supply stores will open on Saturday, and retail stores with street entrances that provide curbside pickup and delivery will be permitted to open on Monday. For more provincial updates, I connected with Oakville MP Stephen Crawford.
So the Premier's made a number of announcements over the last couple of days related to both business and health with respect to the COVID-19 situation. A couple of days ago, he announced some loosening of some business restrictions. So over the next few days, there's going to be some changes to how businesses are able to operate, and some businesses are going to be able to operate going forward. Today as well, he announced some health changes, which will basically set the framework for hospitals to be able to re-engage in doing elective surgeries, which have been postponed through the COVID situation.
With stores starting to reopen, I also asked MP Crawford to comment on our economic recovery process.
Yeah, so the economy since mid-March obviously has been in a very dire situation, but we're very confident in the people of Ontario and the business people of Ontario that we'll be able to get up and running in the next month or two. And as we do, that will propel the economy forward. Obviously, clearly, the governments of both federal, provincial, and municipal governments have spent a lot of money, but we believe that the economy will come back in a very strong fashion over the next few months as people re-engage in their daily activities. So we're very optimistic that the economy will come back in a strong fashion.
Off-peak electricity pricing is being extended until May 31st for families, farms, and small businesses by the provincial government. In federal news, essential workers should expect a pay bump in the near future. This was the latest announcement by the federal government today. We spoke with Milton MP Adam Van Couverden, who explains how this is going to benefit workers here in Halton.
You know, I don't mind getting a little bit personal. It was actually when my grandmother was passing away in long-term care that I realized like how many people it takes to take care of folks when they're getting old. You know, like how many different personal care workers and support workers and everything it's necessary. And that's some of the toughest work, but it's also some of the most important work. And I'm really, really proud that our government is recognizing how important that work is, how critical that work is, and how much they deserve an honest wage, like how much they deserve decent pay. And it's sad that that took a crisis to have everybody recognize that. But I really hope that one of the outcomes of COVID-19 is that we shine a light on long-term care facilities, the conditions that people are working in and the conditions that people are living in. And we can do a lot to advocate for folks at the end of their lives, people in palliative care, people who are working in those situations. They deserve a good wage. And I'm really grateful that Justin Trudeau and our government has recognized that. It's something that we've been advocating for, and we are providing a wage bump for those individuals. So this is a provincial, territorial, and federal partnership. So it will look different based on the provinces and territories, their specific needs, and what they deem necessary. But there is a $3 billion top-up coming from the federal government. The costs will be shared with the provinces and territories to help identify exactly who is an essential worker, who's on the front line, and who will get this wage increase. Specifics are coming, as always. I know that's difficult to hear, but it is in the works. A lot of these legislations that would tend to take months or years to advocate for, put in a bill and get enacted and given royal assent, are doing, they're taking hours and overnight in some cases. So that $3 billion is going to go a really, really long way in ensuring that the frontline workers in Canada get what they deserve, because they're doing some of the toughest and most critical work in, frankly, dangerous conditions. We want to make sure that they're taken care of, that they're safe, and that they're earning an honest wage.
The Canadian government has also managed the largest peacetime repatriation effort in our country's history. Over 26,000 Canadians have been brought home from over 87 countries around the world. Oakville North Burlington's MP Pam Damoff spoke with the Parliamentary Secretary to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs on Facebook Live to help answer some of the common questions. You can find that entire interview on MP Pam Damoff's Facebook page. In Burlington, a senior celebrated his 90th birthday by committing to walking 90 laps around his home to raise money for charity. Melissa Candelaria has that one.
Being restricted to his residence is not stopping Charlie McDougall from doing his part for community. Charlie has committed to walking laps around his home at Burlington Gardens. He says it all started because of a birthday challenge.
The basis of the challenge was my 90th birthday, which was April 25th, and my daughters conceived the idea that I usually walk around the little community here once or twice a day, and they said that it would be quite a feat if I were to match the number of times around the community with my birthday. In other words, 90 laps for 90 years. Then other family members heard about it, and there was the commitment that for every lap around the community, they would contribute $2 per lap to the benefit of whatever organization I chose.
And that community charity is the Burlington Salvation Army Family Services. Charlie is hoping to raise $2,500. Executive Director Doug Binner says this just demonstrates how everyone can make a contribution.
You know, we've had some large organizations and big companies who have made big contributions. We've had neighborhoods who do food drives. We've had individuals who have made donations of various kinds of cash or of food. But to hear Charlie's story, it just reminded me that everybody can make some kind of a contribution. And it doesn't matter what your station of life is, and it doesn't matter how old you might be. Charlie's making a difference.
To date, Charlie is about halfway through his 90-lap commitment, a commitment that has also inspired the Burlington Foundation. President and CEO Colleen Mulholland says they will be matching Charlie's contribution.
I really do believe he stands by the same philosophy that the Burlington Foundation does, which is if we all do a little bit, then we're all doing a great deal. And I was just so inspired and so compelled to kind of cheer Charlie on. Salvation Army is a fantastic charity in our community.
And certainly all this support has made Charlie excited and a little nervous at the same time.
Oh, I'm elated. I feel that a little pressure, but I'm enjoying it. I don't like being the center of attention on anything, but it looks like, the focus is on me, of course, to finish this.
Although Charlie doesn't expect anyone to help him achieve his goal, I think maybe you and I can by walking with him in spirit in our own neighborhoods, or just by giving him your toonie. I know he's got mine. Okay, well, I'm going to go for my walk. Reporting for Halton News, I'm Melissa Candelaria.
The region of Halton has been taking extra precautions to protect their waste management workers. All spring waste events have been canceled until the end of June, including spring Sunday openings, special waste drop-off days, and the spring compost giveaway. You are asked to donate to any local food bank instead if you were planning to participate. Speaking of local food banks, the Burlington Food Bank continues to provide us with daily updates as they help families throughout this pandemic. Last month, they provided food for 650 local families in need.
Yesterday I gave you a couple of stats, and just to give you sort of some concept as to how big that is, we were about almost double what we did last year in 2019 in April, and about a 20% increase over March. So we're seeing the numbers slowly starting to rise. More and more people are in need of our assistance, and thankfully we've had a great support from the community, and it continues. So if you're supporting us, we thank you for that and ask that you continue to. We also received an email from one of the people that we delivered to yesterday, and I just wanted to read it to you just to get an idea of what the people that are receiving are feeling when they get it. It starts off with thank you, thank you, thank you, with all caps, so they're yelling, they want us to know. I just received my delivery by a lovely lady with 2 helpful children in the back seat. Your generosity is overwhelming. I feel like it's Christmas morning. I have spent the last 2 hours filling fridge and cupboards. The personal care products are so amazing. The amount of anxiety that has been lifted is wonderful. I am going through old recipes so I can bake and freeze. We just want to thank that person for sending that in. You made our day. We shared it with all of our volunteers. Thank you for letting us know. You made us feel great about what we're doing. And thanks to everyone who's supporting us.
In Oakville, the Oak Park Neighborhood Center hosts a food bank every Wednesday from 11 to 3. They offer prepackaged groceries and supplies to anyone in the community who needs it. Additionally, they have a 24/7 porch food bank where those in need can pick up bins of food and diapers as well as baby food. If you would like to donate or pick up food, you can do so at 2200 Sawgrass Drive in Oakville, where they encourage you to take what you need and leave what you can. We do need to take another short break. We'll be right back with Dr. Bhattacharya, a local psychiatrist who will talk about post-traumatic stress disorder. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Halton News. This week has been declared Mental Health Week in Canada by the Canadian Mental Health Association. With the COVID-19 pandemic, there have been an increase in mental health issues, and as a local psychiatrist explains, post-traumatic stress disorder can certainly be taking a toll right now.
Hi, this is Dr. Bhattacharya from the Empathy Clinic in Oakville. During the pandemic crisis, Today I want to talk about a very complex topic, one that I'm particularly interested in, but I can't cover everything about it. I just want to make a few important points. This is post-traumatic stress disorder, which is going to be very common during this crisis. So when a trauma happens to someone, it's kind of like there's an event that suddenly blocks in the way. The problem with PTSD is they're trying to get it out of the way, but the memories keep tracking it back. But the person wants to forget it at the same time that it keeps coming back to memory. And sometimes it's not just one event, sometimes it's another event, or sometimes even another event. Now these events might keep happening time and time again, so the poor person is constantly trying to recover from those symptoms of anxiety, sleep problems, irritability, avoidance, depression, and sometimes shame and guilt, which can be really difficult for the individual and also the people around that person. It's really important when someone has post-traumatic symptoms that they need to feel grounded. They need to find a safe place. They need to practice their brain fitness so that they can get calmer on the inside and begin to integrate on the inside as well. Thank you. Be safe. See you next time.
It's a beautiful day out there today. Looking at tomorrow, that's a 40% chance of rain showers with a mix of sun and clouds. Look at that on Saturday, that chance of flurries, but that's only a 30% chance. Those temperatures are hovering just below that 10-degree mark all until Tuesday. Mix of sun and cloud for the rest of our 5-day forecast. The Burlington Chamber of Commerce is inviting local business leaders to join their Survive and Thrive video conference this Thursday, May 14th. Burlington Chamber President Carla Nell will moderate the discussion with a panel of local leaders who will discuss the challenges they have faced and the innovative ways they've adapted their business throughout this pandemic. To register, go to burlingtonchamber.com. Many stocks rose today and the Nasdaq turned positive for the year. Here's a look at today's market numbers. Bird lovers among you will certainly want to stay tuned. We have our latest tip from the Royal Botanical Gardens on how to attract those birds to your yard this spring. Welcome back to Halton News right here on your TV. I'm Jessica Kading. This next clip is for the bird lovers among you. The Royal Botanical Gardens has shared this video with us to provide you tips on how to encourage birds to nest in your backyard.
Hello everybody, my name is Justin and I'm one of the nature interpreters at the Royal Botanical Gardens. Now spring is a very busy time for pretty much all of nature. Temperatures are changing, plants are growing, and especially for birds, this is the time that they're going to be migrating all over the place, and it's the start of nesting season. Now, if you're interested in trying to invite some of these birds to visit you wherever you live, you can definitely do that in a number of different ways. Now, the big idea is that you're providing them with the things that they need. So one of those things is food. So if you were to set up a bird feeder, you definitely see different birds coming to check out what food you have left out for them. Another way that you can invite birds to visit you that's probably not as common or not thought about as much is providing them shelter. Now you might not be able to build a bird's nest for the bird, but you can certainly provide them with the materials that they need. They're going to be looking for all kinds of sticks and twigs and leaves and little fluffy bits that they can use to kind of weave and build a nest like this one. Now, every bird is a little bit different and will make a different nest, but this is kind of generally what they're looking for. So if you're interested in inviting those birds and providing a little bit of nesting material, there's a few different ways that you can do it. Probably the easiest way is to just leave it on the ground. If you have a nice spot where you can tuck away all of those dead leaves, the dead plant stems, all kinds of different stuff in the corner of your garden, in a little empty patch nearby, you can just leave that material there for the birds to come and grab as they'd like. Another way is to create a nesting materials bag. Now this is a super easy way to reuse something that you might already have lying around. And I'm talking about these mesh produce bags. So if you happen to have one of these mesh bags lying around, you are pretty much set to provide birds with the materials that they are looking for. So if you have one of these bags, the next step is simply collecting materials. You're looking for small twigs and leaves, dead plant material that they can bend easily and shape to make their nests. If you're looking for some more fun activities, be sure to check out rbg.ca/at-home. And until next time, happy nesting.
As mentioned earlier, it is Canadian Mental Health Week and there are resources available to support you. The province is offering free internet-based mental health programs that can be found online at ontario.ca/coronavirus. Visit the website to learn all about what's being offered to meet your unique needs, including online therapy. The Conservation Halton Foundation has launched the Mountsburg Animal Food Fund to help feed the animals at Mountsburg Conservation Area during COVID-19. Mountsburg is home to more than 60 animals, from hawks, owls, and eagles to horses, goats, and sheep, a whole bunch of bees, and even a couple of snakes. It costs about $200,000 per year to feed and care for these animals, and that money usually comes from entrance fees, membership purchases, and other donations. With the parks closed due to COVID-19, Conservation Halton does not currently have this revenue, but they still have all those mouths to feed. If you'd like to donate, please visit conservationhalton.ca/Mountsburg Animal Food Fund. Thanks for tuning in. We will be live again tomorrow night at 5:30. In the meantime, we invite you to visit us on social media at YourTV Halton on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. For Halton News, I'm Jessica Kading.